And when you're receiving this, it's very clear what the intention is. You know what I mean? It's no monkey business when you're doing this. It's it's business. Hey guys, Ninja here. I've got Josh on the table today. He's done himself a little bit of a mischief. Just sprinting the other day, only about 5 days ago. Felt some real awareness. We thought it might have been hamstring, but now we're thinking it's high adductor, groin, hip kind of placement. Yeah, tell us about it, man.
We were doing our barefoot sprints on Friday out at Gully, and we've just, during one of the last sort of 50-metre efforts, I was coming along and just felt like, not like it go, it didn't feel like it ruptured or anything like that, it just almost cramped up, got really seized up and tight, and I was like, we better slow down, better take care of this. So we finished the session there for me, because the next step was to go into high speed stuff, and Ninja and Aaron were just saying that when we do those sort of high speed things, that's when you're likely to injure yourself. So we're being cautious.
Yeah, things are pushing your limits. You had a warning.
We had a warning
sign. So yeah, we have to go over that. So can you point to where you want me to work?
Yeah, so it's kind of like right there where that thumb is. So it feels quite tendinous there.
Yeah. So I might go just above that. And just try and locate.
Yeah, that even there, like you're hitting something already.
So I just sort of went to find like bony landmarks so I can kind of get my bearings. And a lot of times the problems do kind of loading is always through the tendon, because that pulls on the bone. So to make movement happen, bones have got to be shortened, pulled towards each other. So we need to know that their stress point is there normally, so we can kind of go there first, and then we can always go down into the spots where you're feeling it. So, but I'm just sort of, you can't see what's going on there, but I'm kind of just on the tendon, and then I'm just running across it a little bit, different angles, just to feel where it's pushing back into my thumb more, and we can kind of just communicate with each other and just sort of kind of say if that's a good spot or things like that.
Just at the moment, like I can feel the bony landmark that you're sitting on, and there's like this warmth, like this therapeutic warmth that's radiating from it. It's quite sensitive, but it's good. Yeah, even when you're like pushing that way, I feel...
I go that angle, because I'm kind of going back towards this wall.
Yeah.
A bit more, angling into there like that, to pin it.
Yeah, that's...
You feel that?
Yeah, that's intensifying it. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, so this is probably not the best visually, because I'm deep in there, but if you can imagine a bit of a rope, and I'm pinning this side of the rope onto there to kind of really hit it so that it kind of can trap it, so I'm not going to be wobbling around, and it's kind of a consistent pressure. So we don't want to be like on a tightrope wobbling and things like that, because that kind of makes you a bit nervous that I'm going to slip and damage and hurt you. So we want to have that kind of pin so it's secure, and then it's like you can really hold it and wait for it to melt. So that's what we're all about, is we want to elicit a change. We don't want to hurt you further and make you worse. That's not the idea. We want to clear out the gunk. So there might have been, a lot of times with sprinting, it's not that one rep or whatever that's causes the damage. It's been accumulation over time, and like it's just sort of reaching a point where it reaches a threshold, and then it kind of, the straw breaks the camel's back, that old kind of adage. So sometimes it's just a build up. And or when you're sprinting, there's really high forces as well. Like you might be able to cope with lower forces and lower range of movement and things like that. But when you kind of get in those real high forces and opening up, it's when you can kind of expose things and bring things to the surface. So that's kind of my take on it. So.
Well, you were even saying today that when you're sprinting, it's 6 times your body weight going through. So. I weigh just a little over 80 kilos, so that's, what's that? That's nearly
over 400
kilos going through.
Yeah. 4/8. What's that? What's 4/8?
4/8 are 30.
6/8.
6/8 are
48. 480 kilos probably. So, and it's a real sharp force. It's called an impulse force. So it's like it's just for a moment of time, but you have to have good resilience and good strength to be able to cope with that really short force. So yeah, and that's with sprinting. It's how you can interact with the ground. That's how fast you can run. So how efficient you are at coping with those forces and what angles you can kind of get at. Yeah, and how quickly you can get back onto the ground so you can propel yourself forward. Yeah, is sort of what matters. So,
and with that shorter impulse, that force is being applied directly up that chain. Whereas if it was a longer, sustained impulse, it takes more time. It's not loading it. That force is applied instantaneously rather than delayed. That's like what cars have crumple zones when you go into a car crash. It delays that impulse.
Yeah.
But we don't have crumple zones in our body.
Yeah. We've got to kind of create them with like arches and things like that. That's what absorbs forces. Yeah. So the design of our body is just amazing. How even like spread your feet out, that will be different to that. You know, so you kind of want to spread your feet out, land on your little toe first, and then kind of come off the big toe, so you can kind of absorb the force. Yeah, rather than kind of just bang, like I used to say, be a spring rather than a hammer. You know, so that's a spring absorbs force a lot more efficiently than just a hammer, boom.
What's that line from Gallipoli? What are your legs? Steel springs?
Yeah. How fast are you going to run?
Fast as a leopard. There you go.
Yeah. So I'm just sort of clearing this tendon anyway. How's it feeling?
Yeah, just there, right where that thumb is. Yeah, it's
getting into it now.
Oh, yeah, it's almost like a good burn, almost like a fascial sensation though. Like it's just local, nothing too like extreme referring or anything like that, but just locally there's some good sensations there.
Yeah. So I suppose if you're watching our videos for the first time, you might see, why aren't you moving? Why aren't you kind of glossing over the skin? Why aren't you kind of doing the normal massage kind of style? And it's because we want to be effective, and we've got to really locate where the source of this thing is. So we're on a bit of a journey to investigate and things like that, and we want to hold things so that it kind of melts exactly where it needs. So when you're kind of doing the rubbing stuff, you kind of you're not kind of hitting those exact spots, because it might be just a little scar tissue right on a spot. So if you're kind of just going down into the belly muscle, and the problem's here, say, you're just going to be not even working that. And like when you're going really slow as well, it gives the body time to receive it and accept it, and get, that permission and consent is really big for us. So we want to kind of do the most effective work we can, but it's working as a team, not on a person.
Yeah.
So that kind of sums it up. So, but I might kind of come out of there and do a bit of an elbow stroke, just so something different.
Yeah.
So up in here, and I don't think I can maybe get into quite as much into that.
No, tendon, but even in that belly there, where that elbow is pressing, like I feel, there's some good forces going into that, and it's needed.
So I feel like I want to I'm kind of slowly sliding down in towards the adductor more, away from the hamstring. But then I feel like I can pin just there.
Yeah, there's...
Got a spot?
Yeah, there's a spot there.
Yeah. So just trying to tune into the spot.
Sort of in there, I'm getting referral around to that hip as well.
Yeah.
Which is it's a common referral pattern for that area, but it's good sensation to feel. Feels like you're hitting all those sort of right areas. Don't think I've really ever had my adductors looked at like this before, but it's good.
Yeah. Like a lot of times when I'm doing these kind of region, I'll kind of describe as an old pain. Like people kind of really, and people, before I even said that to people, they'll actually say that, oh, that's been there forever, it feels old. So a lot of times you've had this anchoring cemented spot in here, and it's been there for a long time, and you just haven't known that it's been so stuck, and you haven't been able to get full range through your legs and things like that. And so yeah, it's a really important part of the body for movement. And we've done quite a few videos on like groin and pubic bone and hips, things like that. And yeah, it's sort of an area of the body that's not treated that frequently, and so people don't really know how to like treat groin or a pubic bone. And we're trying to, get it out there to the world that you can really have a massive effect on somebody's performance and pain levels when you kind of can treat effectively. So yeah, we want to normalise it and make lift the game out there in the world. Like the standards can be a lot higher because there's not many people doing effective work in this region of the body. So
granted, it's a sensitive area, like genitalia and all that sort of stuff around that area. It's a sensitive area to treat, but like any other part of the body, if it's sore, we don't avoid it.
Yeah.
What's the point in avoiding the pain?
Yeah.
Just pretending it's not there is not going to make it better.
And when you're just thinking of function, and when you're receiving this, it's very clear what the intention is. You know what I mean? It's no monkey business when you're doing this. It's it's business. You know, performance, and you can really tell that it is an integral part of your body for movement, even if you don't have that good a body awareness. You can kind of tell, I use this when I'm squatting or I'm going up some stairs or I'm running, things like that, climbing. So
just that little shift of angle that you did with your elbow there.
Yeah.
Just started to get that referral a bit more towards the front of the hip, so towards those like high hip flexor, almost front of the pubic bone attachment. So your adductors attach onto that pubic bone as well.
Yeah. And
it's just sort of sending that referral. Before it was towards the actual hip bone itself. Now it's right into the groin. Feels very, very therapeutic.
So I'm kind of angling down a bit. Does that feel like I'm tracking something good?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably going to be a real good, like a trigger point, if you want to call it that, here.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah, so I've been sensing it's coming up, and now I'm just sort of gonna fix it.
Fix it, yeah.
So yeah, you see, you're starting to shake.
Yeah, it's good though.
Yeah. So I'm making sure, like Josh gave me the green light just to keep on going with it, even though there was a bit of shaking. He's having to breathe a bit, having to concentrate a bit harder. It's going to be better once it gets through.
Yeah.
So it should feel like all the range is back and things like that. And like treating like 5 days after initial kind of injury is, you got to, it's all independent or dependent on what kind of injury it is, how bad it is, and what you kind of intuitively feel. Like a lot of times you could probably treat something like what Josh had, like on that day, that night, or the next day, once it settles down a little bit and know what you're dealing with. So yeah, it's not always just avoid things, because like sometimes it's just like old scar tissue, or it's a bit of a spasm thing, or a bit of protection that's kind of your body's overdoing it a little bit. So yeah, it's a case by case situation. And when I kind of have these niggles, I personally just get into things with my own hands straight up and just sort of get more information about what's going on, the side it is, and if there's any referrals, you can kind of just push into it a bit and kind of just get a sense for it. And you know in your own body if something's feels like you're damaging it further, or if it feels like it's therapeutic. So that's what we're searching for, therapeutic sensations. We innately know what's therapeutic and what feels like it's damaging and it's wrong. How we're going, I just might angle a little bit. into there like that.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
That'll crush it.
That's the other thing too, like a lot of practitioners are worried about, you know, creating discomfort in their clients. And whilst we don't want to go out and hurt our people that we're treating, we don't want to cause more damage, but there's a difference in what that discomfort is. Like, this is definitely not comfortable. It's not a pleasant sensation. It's not, but it's, you know that it's doing good work, and the body knows the difference.
Yeah.
The body knows what's a good quality treatment that, whilst uncomfortable, is good.
Yeah.
Versus ninjas just deciding to bash me up for the hour.
Yeah, just for the sake of it.
But no, what you're doing there, Ninj, was incredible.
Probably see a big pink
bit of blood flow.
Blood flowing into there. One thing I think about, like I've seen, like just on Instagram, whatever, like people working on dogs and manipulating them, or horses and things. Like the animals know, like if they feel safe and they feel like something's better, they'll actually work into it, work with you as well. And so like we're animals as well. We're human animals, so like we've got this sense as well. So like I think a lot of times we're programmed, and our power is taken away from us, not to use our intuition and to kind of push into things. We've kind of got to go, I've got to go and see a specialist, or somebody that's going to tell me what's wrong with me and label me and things like that. So, but I think if you can kind of investigate and explore yourself, a lot of times you can get a lot of information, and you're a long way towards fixing it as well, because you've actually pushed in it, you've softened it, you've got more awareness about what needs to be done. And like once you kind of work into things and then they feel better, then you go, okay, I've got the green light to pursue it more. So yeah.
I think it's also allowing, as the client, allowing your natural instincts to soften, go with the flow. Like even when you're in there, I felt like even just the little wiggles of the foot that I was doing at that point in time, I felt those shakes were there that needed to be, I think you were doing some deep work, there were some shakes, but just a little bit of movement, settle in, relax, and then once that sort of shakiness goes, then you just relax completely and you can sink into it properly.
Yeah.
And accept it.
Yeah, and it's sort of intense pain the first time you're on the spot, isn't it? But then and then it goes. But then you can go into a deeper level and intensify the pain again. But then that goes. It's as things are melting and changing, like the sensations change, and you just got to run with it, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's where the gold is. That's where the healing happens. And yeah.
Oh, it's been good. That was a good treatment, Ninj.
Yeah, thank you.
Feels good already.
Yeah. So yeah. If you like our content, like, subscribe, share with your friends. You know, if you want to learn this kind of stuff, there's opportunity to do that as well. So you can join the academy. Josh is in our academy.
Yeah.
The inner sanctum, I think we were talking before, I think that might even be a better word for it, because you get that exclusive look at what it's like to work in a practice like ours, all the different aspects that we work on with our whole team. So you're going to get that kind of coaching that you're not going to get just from watching your YouTube channel or things like that. So that's something, a stepping stone, and then you can kind of do our mentorship as well.
Mentorship, one that I did not that long ago. It was incredible. You get to learn. Ninja and Aaron do some webinars where you're actually watching the treatment as well, and then you have 2 weeks per part of the body to practice, and we then film them and send them to them, and they critique what we do. But it's a great course. I recommend it to anyone who's interested in this field, or even just for people that might not want to become practitioners but are just curious about their own body as well, trying to fix their own pain. It's a good thing to get into, so get into it, guys.
Yeah, thanks, Josh. All right, till next time.
Thanks, guys.
Done.